So we want to bring in now CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford for a closer look at this. Good to have you with us as always.
Good to see you.
So 24 years later, why go after these charges? She's already facing this other trial in Alabama. I know they're two separate cases, but were you surprised when you heard they were actually filing charges?
Not terribly surprised. I think a couple of reasons. One is in some ways to save face on the part of the law enforcement authorities up in Massachusetts. It was badly bungled, the fact that it was never presented. The grand jury never got a chance to take a look at all of this. I think the other thing is this. It provides a bit of a safety net. Because the trial in Alabama, you have to assume there's going to be an insanity defense down there because there doesn't seem to be anything else playing out. If, in fact, that's successful, remembering that insanity defenses are rarely successful, but if it is, what happens to her, she doesn't go to prison, she goes into a hospital. And she's there until some medical people say she's no longer a danger to herself or others. That might never happen. John Hinckley, we know, still in a hospital. But it could happen. And this gives them a fallback position. If she's released from a hospital, Massachusetts authorities can say, okay, you know what? Bring her right up here. We're going to take a shot at this murder case.
Could it also make things a little bit more difficult on the defense in Alabama? Because with an insanity defense, they can actually bring in this Massachusetts case, which you wouldn't be able to normally.
And that's a great point, because you're right. Generally speaking, if she's on trial, somebody's on trial in Alabama for murder, and there are allegations that they committed another murder up in Massachusetts, just allegations yet, generally, the jury in Alabama is not going to hear that. Some exceptions. One is, if you have an insanity defense here, oftentimes a prosecutor can bring in other facts and circumstances. So that if there's an expert on the stand saying, yes, indeed, she was criminally insane, prosecutor can say, well, whoa, wait a minute. Let me tell you about another situation in '86 where she takes a shotgun and blows her brother away. So the jurors may indeed hear about that. But the interesting thing is, they might hear about it from both sides. You could even see the defense saying, perhaps, maybe this could help us in some fashion. I don't know. Obviously, you have to see what the experts have to say. But there's a real chance, as you said, that jurors might hear about it.
But you've actually, I want to go back to the point for a second, because you've actually won two cases with an insanity defense, correct?
Well, I've tried about a half a dozen death penalty cases. Two of them had insanity defenses where, surprisingly, even to me, jurors came back with something less than first-degree murder.
So then if they are looking at it in that respect, give me one or two quick things that would actually cause that to work?
Well, they could basically say, you know, we've heard some people reported that when she was being arrested, that she was saying, nobody was shot. Why are you saying this? So jurors might seize on something. If they do, if they find something they can seize on, they come back and say, you know, not guilty by reason of insanity. They could even say, we'll come off of murder one. Maybe we'll come down. Maybe we'll come down to manslaughter for some reason. Once you introduce an insanity defense, the calculus changes dramatically inside a courtroom.
The game changes a lot.
Yeah.
Jack Ford, always good to have you with us. Thanks.
Good to see you.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.